paddy works on the railway. In 1842 from Hartlepool I moved to Crewe, found myself a job to do, working on the railway.
Hiya, welcome back to the workshop. Today's project came from Woodturning magazine, and it's a lighthouse inspired by Rita Duxbury, who's documented in the magazine how she turns them. My method isn't going to be quite the same. It's going to be modified for the tools I'm using. Also, I want to put a light into mine, so little LED, a little battery box. I bought 10 of each a long time ago for a project I was doing. I only used a couple, so I've got the surplus, and I've marked this cable as being negative, because that's important with LEDs, that you get the polarity right. So yeah, let's build this lighthouse. Rita says about 10 inches of wood. Oh, this background's annoying, let's turn it off. So about 10 inches of timber, about 3 inches diameter. I've gone for this odd shape because I want a sort of a rocky base, which he also does have pictures of. And she says, find your centres. I'm off centre here because I want to keep this rocky base to the side. So my centre is going to be here, which means it will be a bit wacky. And she also then says to square it up on a bandsaw. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it on the lathe. So starting off between centres on the step centre, because I can, because I've got them. And it's not square at the moment, but that's fine. We'll figure that out. And the first thing to do is get a chuck mount on it and make sure it spins, because obviously I've got a bit of branch sticking out there, which means it doesn't. So let's pull back a little bit. So I'm going to start with putting a chuck mount on the top end, which won't matter because I'm cutting that down into a pitch roof at the end, so I can still use that piece of wood. But I need that in order to drill this. I need to drill this to put the light inside it, which isn't in Rita's documentation. But it's my modification too. So we're going to start off I'm not going to do anything much to it. I'm just going to use my 10mm round bar skew and my C-jaw template and get this into a chuck. It's about there. So now I need to get my base that's going to stand on flat. It's nowhere near flat at the moment. So move my tail stack back a bit. A number of ways I could do this. I'm going to use a spindle gouge, which is one of the ways I can do this. Cutting a lot of air. So now that should be flat to the top. So it should all line up when I stand it up. And he's getting closer here, but I don't go all the way because I don't need to. You'll see why in a minute. Now, conveniently, my battery box is just a little bit narrower than the depth of the drill head, so I don't need to put tape on this one. I do need to lock the tail stop there. Right, hole 3. This is going to go most of the way through. This is where the cord's going to, well, the cable's going to go up to supply the light bulb. It's an 8mm drill bit. And I want this hole as clean as possible. So I'm only going to go in a centimetre before I clear the flute. So what I've come up with, simply a long drill bit. I stuck a handle on the end. There is a video on my channel of me making this. The drill bit was extra cheap because it was an open packet, so it only cost me a few quid. Anyway, so the starter hole that I've just drilled just gets this going right. And you don't want it going fast. And normally with a lamp you're going all the way through. This is a Lighthouse and it's got a top on it, so I don't want to go all the way through. I only want to go to there, which actually makes life a lot more difficult. Because if you go all the way through, then you can use the hole at both ends to centre everything. But I can't do that. So I'll mark it with some tape. Depending on the wood type, there's an optimum speed for this to be used at. Same with anything else, clear the flutes regularly. The optimum speed, unfortunately, varies depending on the piece of timber. So I can't tell you what it is because it's different every time. Basically, if the drill's not going in, try a bit faster or a bit slower until you get it right. So, out of this chuck. Give it a few taps, make sure all the shavings are out of there. So I'm going for my pin jewels, which are going to go into that hole that I drilled in the bottom. Bring my tail stock up, just get everything square. And grip it. Gripping it requires turning the chuck the right way. Tailstock's in, everything's perfectly safe, but I am going to fire it up, standing out of the way, just in case. I can't see any splits, I can't see any loose bark, I can't see anything that's going to cause a problem, but for safety reasons, just get your ass out of the way. Edit that, I can't say that on YouTube, can I? For safety terms, just make sure you're out of the way when you first fire it up. Bring your tool rest in, make sure it's not contacting anything. I could use a long tool rest here, but because I've got that off-center bit at the bottom, it would actually get in my way. So I'm sticking with my 9-inch tool rest, and we'll work around that. I've got this bit of branch sticking out. Wrong camera. Got this bit of branch sticking out, so I'm not going to start with a spindle roughing gouge. I'm going to start with a bowl gouge. Just get rid of that. Get it somewhere near, and then we'll see how we go from there. Okay, so we're making some progress. I think I'm back to pretty much the orientation and cutting angles that Rita was using. So I'm going to go back to her measurements and just get an idea of where she was going with this. Okay, so she's got the natural edge bit to about 2 inches, which is just below this line I've drawn on here. Obviously this is not a round piece, so I can't just spin the lathe and get a neat line. So I've sketched it above where I want to start cutting, so that the line will definitely disappear. And it wants to be about 2¼ inches, 2½ inches here. She's got yeah, 2¼ I'm working in metric, so I'm modifying these measurements as I go. So yeah, transition just below that line, diameter just above that line. parting tool to get an idea of where I'm going here. So that's the size of the balcony around the top of the light. So I can take that bit down to that size. Because of this, the skewer is going to get in the way here, but I'm going to use it for the bulk of the slope, bulk of the taper. Rita puts a burn line in here. I'm not sure how essential that is, but we're going to do it anyway. Follow it into that. So I just need a slight V-cut. I use just a bit of garden wire, basically, nothing special. A couple of handles for safety. Never grip the wire. Note to demonstrators, don't go doing burning till you check where the smoke alarms are. Ask me how I know. Okay, so that's our tower section. Now we've got to start the detail for the top, which I am copying pretty much exactly what's on the drawing. She's done a slight bead on that. I'm not sure that it's appropriate. but we'll do it anyway. So it's about that thick. It's a very slight bead. More of a chamfered edge than a bead. About that much. Okay, so that's not down to depth yet because I've got to drill holes through it, and I want to finish the depth when the holes are there so I can tidy up any tear out or whatever. That's the diameter of the base of the roof. It's going to be conical from there. So get some holes drilled. It's ½ inch is used, so we'll go with that. This is kind of freehand drill, so it's sort of guesswork. I don't think it matters that much, but try and keep your drill fairly level. Go through, turn it about 90 degrees, go through again. There we go. So we've got 4 holes for the windows, and after I clear the shavings out, my hole through the centre does reach. Haven't quite figured out how to put the light bulb in yet, but we'll figure that out as we go along. So the roof is just conical from there to a point. So let's do that. Lower the torus a bit in a sec. I'm not going to make that too sharp an edge. Just soften it a bit there. And I am on a chuck jaw, not between centres, so I can take that out of the way and just finish this off. I don't want to go all the way just yet because I haven't sanded yet. But just leave that little bit to the last. That's our piece so far, sanding up to 240 grit. Obviously I had to hand sand around here to blend from the natural edge to the turned piece. But easy enough to sand. You could at this stage decide to paint it. I'm not going to. I'm going to oil it because I like oiled wood. So that's what I'm going to do with it. So I'm using the Hampshire Sheen Citrus Burnishing Oil because I've been good and I like the smell of it. I'm treating myself. It doesn't. You can't really burnish the bark area, so it's just going to be oiled. If I do this again, I should use a more interesting bark than this one. Something a bit more rocky looking. I just put it on with the lathe stopped. Give it a couple of minutes for the solvents to evaporate even, and then burnish it off. You could use shavings for that. I'm going to use paper towel. And it gives you a nice satin, natural looking effect. It's an oil I like. I think Danish oil's got the edge on being a bit glossier, especially if you put several coats on. But yeah, I like this one. And Obviously, you could paint it white with red stripes or make it more authentic if you wanted to. I don't. Right, on to the finishing step, getting a light into it. Okay, putting a light into it. So we've got the advantage that I've got a stepped hole here, which the battery box fits into. So the plan is, I've got a dowel, smaller than the hole so the wires can down the side of it. I will glue it to that with a bit of CA. Fix the bulb on top of it and fix the wires together. That's the plan. So I'll put some super glue on the end of the stick, spray a bit of activator on there, and then by eye set it in the middle. Yeah, just to reiterate, this is 3-volt electronics. So this low heat solder joint and haphazard connection is fine. Don't do this on mains. So once I've done that solder, I just reinforce it. I bring a bit of heat shrink down and shrink it in another bit because I don't have longer lengths. I will overlap the first one with the second one. And just shrink that down as well. And that joint is well reinforced. Sorry, that joint is off camera, but well reinforced. After a little bit of faffing about with the wires and getting them in place, one lighthouse with light bulb. I had no idea how I was going to fix the light bulb in there when I first, well, I've got to be honest, I had no idea how I was going to fix the light bulb in there when I took it off the lathe. This is sort of a Mark 1 attempt. I want it so that the light will come out in case the light breaks. LEDs probably won't break. I mean, more than likely what will happen is somebody will run the battery down and never put another battery in it. So that's the way it goes. But that's it. One little lighthouse. Natural edge base. Rougher bark would must possibly look more rock-like. I don't know. And those of you who are into paint may paint the thing white and red, lighthouse style. But big thanks to Rita Duxbury for the inspiration. Nice little project, fun to make, and that's it for now. Please click the thumbs up and subscribe if you're not. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.